So one of my first videos ever on this YouTube channel was a ranking of all 4 Toy Story movies right after Toy Story 4 came out, and it's time to make some changes. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be ranking all 4 Toy Story movies from my least favorite to favorite. This is almost like something that's been hanging over my head since I started YouTube. I've wanted to rectify my original ranking because I've just been so displeased with the way that I ranked the movies because it's just wrong. And it's been almost 2 years, I think, actually. It has been 2 years, so I want to change this ranking. And now's the time to do it because I'm rewatching all the Pixar movies. I have 2 Pixar movies left to rewatch, which I plan to do later today. So my Pixar ranking might drop tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But before I give you guys my ranking of all 4 Toy Story movies, definitely hit the like button, comment your ranking down below, and if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button so don't miss out on any future videos. So coming in at number 4 for me is Toy Story 4. Now, I just finished rewatching this less than 10 minutes ago, and this is by far the worst Toy Story movie and one of my least favorite Pixar movies at the moment. It feels like a shell of what these Toy Story movies had, and it lacks any of that magic that the first 3 movies have. It's just a Woody solo movie, essentially. This is a story of Woody finding a way to move on, but it separates Woody from the rest of the gang, and that camaraderie is what makes those Toy Story movies have the fun charisma that we've come to know and love. Buzz Lightyear should not be sidelined in a Toy Story movie, and he unfortunately is here. They try and force Gabby down our throats and really make us care about her when she's really not an interesting character at all, and Forky, while he does have a few comedic moments, overall can come off as just flat out annoying, unfortunately. The plot itself is uninteresting, and the antique setting is very dull, unfortunately. There's not much to rave about this movie, sadly. It's a very weak Pixar movie. While it does have comedic additions such as Ducky and Bunny and Duke Kaboom, overall the movie just does not feel like the Toy Story movies, in my opinion. And while the end does have that bittersweet, almost heartbreaking moment, the To Infinity and Beyond, which can leave you a little teary-eyed if you're really invested, it's just not enough. Now, I think the rest of the Toy Story movies are leaps and bounds above this, and they're all in my top 10 favorite Pixar movies. So coming in at number 3 for me is Toy Story 2. This is a fantastic sequel to the original. We get introduced to Jessie and Bullseye, 2 really awesome additions. It's also a near perfect movie, and I think Al's toy barn is a really great setting, but you also get to see his apartment building, and seeing the toys on the road away from Andy's house adds a whole nother dynamic to this franchise that would come into play later. The When She Loved Me song in sequence is truly heartbreaking. It makes us care about Jessie early on, and that song actually got nominated for an Oscar. The Prospector is also a really menacing villain, way better than whatever we saw in Toy Story 4, and I just like seeing Zurg and Buzz Lightyear, or the Buzz Lightyear variant, a little Loki reference for you. I also wanted to mention how hilarious it is because that cone sequence on the highway is something else. The references to classic movies here is truly impressive. This movie is a blast, and it's honestly just one of the most fun Toy Story movies. Coming in at number 2 for me, the runner-up is going to be Toy Story, the original movie that started it all, not only for Toy Story, but for Pixar in general. The animation style has definitely changed over time. If you go back and watch this, it can seem a little dated because Pixar has come so far in the animation, but the classic story is still unmatched in my opinion. The movie's less than an hour and a half, and it still feels like lightning in a bottle. It's perfectly paced, and seeing the arc of Woody being the jealous toy, because he goes from being Andy's favorite to just being sidelined as the second, we get to see that jealousy arc play throughout, but we also get to see Buzz Lightyear, this guy who thinks he's a space ranger, realize that he's actually just a toy, just like Woody tells him, and that moment is truly gut-wrenching and brutal because we see Buzz kind of feel down on his luck as he's being played with as Miss Nesbit. Sid is a truly sadistic villain and one that sticks in the memory of my minds, and I'm sure kids who watch this movie for the first time at a young age forever. It's literally traumatizing because he's just terrorizing toys. It's also one of the most quotable animated movies ever, and it's just really funny. I have to give major credit to Tom Hanks and Tim Allen for bringing Woody and Buzz to life because this movie has hilarious moments, and I feel like their voice acting was able to just create these icons from the start that we're still acknowledging years down the road. And the finale of this movie truly is adrenaline inducing in my opinion. It leaves me riveted on the edge of my seat, and it contains one of the greatest callbacks in movie history. I have chills right now thinking about it. But coming in at number 1 for me has to be Toy Story 3. This is not only the crown jewel of the Toy Story franchise, but perhaps the crown jewel of Pixar movies in general. It's honestly the most resonant for me personally just because seeing Andy at that stage in life where he's about to go off to college and having to take the next step has always just resonated with me because I've always struggled with trying to take the next step, moving on in life, almost taking the leap of faith just because I'm very nervous and timid of change. It's something that scared me and it's hard for me to deal with, so seeing Andy go through this takes this movie to another level. The tear-inducing finale when we see Andy playing with the toys one last time before he passes on the torch to Bonnie has always been a scene that I can connect to my own life because that's him taking that final step to get where he needs to be. And I feel like every time I rewatch this movie, there's something going on in my life that I need to take the next step on and jump the hurdle and just move on with it. And that's honestly how I view this last scene. It's very sad at times, and I always cry when I watch the scene, but it's sad when it comes to my own life because I have to move on from certain things and do what's best for myself. And adding on to the fact that it's already a personable movie for me, Lotso is easily the best Pixar villain. There's a montage scene where we see he gets forgotten and then replaced, and it truly instills this hatred inside of him. So it almost makes Sunnyside Daycare, the setting for this, like a prison, and Lotso is almost like the warden. And that's another aspect of Toy Story 3 that I adore. It's the fact that it feels like a prison break movie at times. It kind of reminds me of like Shawshank Redemption, The Great Escape, Cool Hand Luke, even One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, in the sense that you're in an institution or a prison and you are trying to break out. I would throw in Toy Story 3 when it comes to the great prison break movies. There's so much tension in the breakout scene itself. It's so well written and thought out. It's honestly quite clever. And the climactic scene where the gang is about to burn in a fiery inferno and they all lock hands knowing that they love each other and are going to go out with each other feels believable, and it's honestly one of the most brutal moments we've seen from Pixar, because for a moment I thought they might just kill off all the toys. So from the messages about moving on in life to the comedy to the tension-filled, thrilling moments in this movie, Toy Story 3 has to be the king of the Toy Story movies. And that final line, "So long, partner," gets me every time. So yeah, that's going to do it for my updated ranking of all 4 Toy Story movies. Definitely hit the like button, comment your ranking down below. I can't believe my original ranking. I want to say it was Toy Story 1 was the worst, and then I think I put Toy Story 4, then 2, then 3. So it has changed quite a bit, and I don't know what I was thinking that day. I think I was in denial about Toy Story 4, and I just wanted to put it a little higher because it had just come out. Also, I was new to YouTube, so I don't even know what I was thinking.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Subscribe if you haven't, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future rankings, Pixar videos, MCU videos, Star Wars videos, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.